Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to play a portion of the workshop for Beginner Homesteaders and Dreamers. I wanted to just give you a little taste of what it's like to listen to the workshop, and hopefully you'll come away from it thinking, hey, I actually need that. If you're ready to take steps forward towards your homesteading goals and dreams, and this is the workshop for you. So I'm giving you a little bit of what's in it. And remember, you also get the Homesteading for Beginners workbook that goes along with it. And I guide you through it. So this part, this is me guiding you through a portion of the workbook. So you don't have the workbook, maybe you do, but if you don't have the workbook, then when you purchase the workshop for only $29, you also get the workbook, which is normally $9, but it's free with the workshop. Remember to use the code podcast to get the special $29 price. Just use the word podcast at checkout and you'll get that discounted. The reason I created this workshop to go with the workbook is because I felt like I wanted to be able to encourage you even more through a video. So the video is an hour and 40 minutes. So, since it was originally a live event, there was some interaction with the people that attended live. So that kind of is helpful as well because they answer some of the questions which might be similar to yours. All of the information about the workshop is in the show notes, but you can also go to healthyhomesteading.com/workshop. Okay, here's a little bit of what you'll be getting in the workshop. The next pitfall we're going to talk about is lack of savings. And we're going to do a little exercise. So if you have your workbook, go to page 20. And we're going to talk about how we can find money that we may just not realize is there because we don't see it. So sometimes we can find money by getting rid of unnecessary expenses. Use this page to see where any hidden money might be. And this will be like a savings account for your homesteading journey. You should always be replenishing your savings because with homesteading, even just getting started, and then also while you're trying to maintain a homestead, there are always expenses that come up, especially when you're talking about adding animals, because animals get sick, feed prices go up. Oh, by the way, I just talked about this on the podcast about feed prices going up. My husband went to get hay yesterday and they didn't have any. So now I'm scrambling to find hay for the horses, and this stuff happens. So now I'm scrambling to find hay for horses. Thankfully, we got some today. My son-in-law went and found another place. But all they had was the square bales, which is way more expensive than the round bales, which we normally buy. So now I'm either going to go after this workshop to buy another round bale from another area because apparently some kind of shortage right now. Anyway, the whole point is that stuff happens when you have animals. And you need to prepare for that by always having your savings. And feed prices and lumber prices can go up overnight, and gas prices, obviously. But those things can happen very quickly. And so always replenishing your savings is a good plan. So we're going to do this. We're going to see if you can, subscriptions you don't need. We got rid of Netflix not too long ago because I was like, we have so many other streaming platforms. Is Netflix one? I mean, you don't have to get rid of it forever, just for a time so that you can save some money. So any subscriptions you have that you don't need, and that maybe you need to talk to your spouse about, but take that off of, write that down. And also, don't just spend it somewhere else. Actually, put that money in your savings account. So, other unnecessary expenses are, Starbucks. If you're a regular Starbucks person or a regular person that goes out to eat or just something like that on a regular basis, then maybe you can skip a couple and, not spend that much. It amazes me how much coffee is nowadays. Like, it used to be really cheap and now it's kind of expensive. But there are some guilty pleasures that maybe you can get rid of for a time being. Write that down and see if you could save some money there. Unnecessary fees, acquiring late fees. That happens when you don't have a good plan, or you're just behind a little bit. Maybe saving some money in the other areas can get you ahead so that you can start paying on time. And then you can and then you can start saving all of that money, So you set up auto pay if it's a matter of not remembering, or put the calendar in your phone, like your reminders, so you don't forget. And then if you have any areas there, just estimate your total savings. So this is on page 20, if you haven't found it. Estimate your total monthly savings that you can add to your homestead savings account. So we'll call it that. And you can do that with an actual savings account, a separate savings account, or you can use a cash system. If you're using a cash system, you might want to use this as a sheet that you can track your cash, which is also in the workbook. So or even just just recording whatever it is that you want to do. So I added that into the workbook so that you can track your savings, your homestead savings. Okay, pitfall number, well, I didn't number them. Well, I did number them, but I can't remember which number this is. This is a lack of savings pitfall. Sorry, lack of income pitfall. And this is one where I've talked about this on my podcast a lot, but the 3 income streams for sustainability. I want to talk a little bit more about that here so you understand what I mean by it. So, but I'm going to read this real quick. One of the biggest pitfalls I see is the lack of income for the lifestyle desired. The problem is that most homesteaders do not plan for the unexpected. Property repairs, sick animals, natural disasters, and feed increases are just a few examples. I recommend at least 3 income streams because having a diverse income plan based on where the source is coming from creates a sustainable income plan. It's likely you're a homesteader because you want more food security in the event something shifts in our economy or other events. Having an income plan that includes on-homestead, off-homestead, and online income sources offers more security in the event that one income source is not available. So that is the philosophy of this, is that we are homesteaders and we understand the need for sustainability and we understand the need for preparing, but I feel like homesteaders do not prepare enough in this area. Whereas that's why there's 3 different income streams: on homestead, off homestead, and online. Do I mean that you have to have all 3 at the same time? No. This could be a seasonal thing where you have, especially with the off homestead income, where you have the online on homestead income is something that you make from your homestead or that is grown from your homestead or something that is an income source. Chicken eggs is one example. I don't think you should put a lot of effort into chicken eggs, but if you want to do, because they're not as profitable, but duck eggs and quail eggs may be a better option because people pay more for them. But that's just one thing that you can do from your homestead, or you can make soaps. Lots of people do that. People like to purchase those too from people. So you just have to have the right marketing strategy, and you have to treat it like a business and not a hobby. Then it'll pay you like a business and not a hobby. So an off homestead income are things that you do away from your homestead. And if you're not homestead we're talking right now is where your home is right now. So doing what you can from where your home is your homestead. So off homestead income can include things like I mentioned before, I was a farm sitter. I do that. I do farm sitting, and I was working for a farm for a while, a few times over the years. I worked for horse farms. So the regular horse farms are consistent, but they pay less, or, so there's certain jobs that are better than others. The farm sitting jobs were inconsistent, but they paid more. So I still do the farm sitting jobs. I needed the, farm job that I had, the regular job I had for a while, but I don't work that one anymore. And I used to work another big farm before. But there's a number of reasons why it's beneficial to consider getting even just a seasonal job in these areas. You could work for a large garden. There's so many different things that you can do. You could be a seasonal picker of something. A lot of larger homesteads need that kind of help and will pay for it, So, but off homestead income is important for me and on homestead income, for community building and trust building, people learning to trust in you. In the event that we understand as homesteaders that things can happen, in the event that something does happen that is very serious to our economy, where are people going to go for things that they need? They're going to go with people they trust. So if you, like, for instance, I worked at this horse farm, but I was professional. I showed up, I did the things that she wanted. I did everything. And and then when the job was done, I get a few days later, I get a text from her saying, "I miss your professionalism." And this is just horse farming, but this is how I work. This is how I work with everything. I miss your professionalism. If in the event that something were to happen, who do you think that she would go to, or she really needs my help or something like that? I'm just saying the professionalism in every avenue of your, in your off homestead income can lead to other things and give you a good name for the community. And so I don't want you to not think about that. And you can use off homestead income starting off as, a volunteer position and then get hired in or something, as long as you're learning about things that you want to do in the process. That's a good strategy as well. And then online income is income coming from online. Same thing with everything else. In the event that, let's say, the internet goes down, which, it can happen. We want to have the other ones to fall back on. But since the internet is alive and well, that is the place right now. You should spend a lot of time growing an online income, because it can reach so many people so much quicker, and you can make more money than you could at all with something local. You just have to have the right strategies and that sort of thing, and the right products and that sort of thing. But if you want to look at I also have another resource, and here I'll go to that. It's called 101 Homestead Income Ideas, and these are based on the different sections. So on homestead, off homestead, and online income. Hey there, homestead dreamer. Whether you're just starting out or have already dipped your toes into the homesteading world, I've got something special for you. It's all about setting up a solid foundation for your homestead plan and income strategy through thoughtful action and implementation. Because let's face it, starting a homestead is not too difficult, but keeping it sustainable can be a real challenge. Now, the decisions you make in those early years can truly make or break your experience. You either end up feeling confident and content, or you find yourself caught up in a never-ending struggle, like on a hamster wheel. And we definitely want to avoid that. That's exactly why I've created an amazing resource for you, the Workshop for Beginner Homesteaders and Dreamers. With this tool, you'll have a rock-solid foundation to build your homesteading dream upon. In the pre-recorded workshop, you'll dive into some valuable topics such as strategies for planning, savings, and generating an income, how to find and become a part of a supportive homesteading community, and developing the right mindset for homesteading success. And here's the cherry on top. Throughout the month of June, I'm offering my workshop for beginner homesteaders and dreamers at a special discount price. It's an hour and 40-minute video where I personally guide you through most of the Homesteading for Beginners workbook, which is included in the workshop price, by the way. To grab this offer, head over to healthyhomesteading.com/workshop and use the code podcast at checkout. With this code, you'll get over 20% off the already low regular price. But remember, this discount is only available during the month of June, so make sure you take action soon. You can find all necessary links in the show notes of this podcast episode as well. I'm eager for you to get started. Let's make your homesteading dreams come true together.